So, hello and welcome you all to today's LeetCode challenge. This is our day 295, and today's LeetCode challenge is question number 1752. Check if array is sorted and rotated as well or not. So, we have given an array nums, return true if the array was originally sorted in non-decreasing order, then rotated in some number of positions including 0, otherwise return false. There may be duplicates in the original array. That means there may be duplicate numbers also present in the original array. We have also given a note that an array is A is rotated by x positions, result in the array B of same length such that every element of A of I is then equals to B of I plus x modulus A of length positions of element of B, where this percentage is basically the modulo operator. We have given the input example number 1 as input nums equals to 3, 4, 5, 1 and 2. And we clearly can see that the original array could be 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and if we rotate our array from this position, that means put these two values from first to back side of 5, and then the resultant array could be 3, 4, 5, 1 and 2. So we have to return true for this input. The constraints are very low, that nums of length will goes up to from 1 to less than equals to 100 only. So we can try our brute force approach to check whether this nums is a increasing non-sorted in order or rotated as well or not. What could be the brute force approach for this problem is, let us suppose uh, the input array is 3, 4, 5, 1 and 2. The brute force approach could be that we will try to check for every sorted we will try to check for every sorted part of this array and find out that whether the every part of this array is a sorted pair or not. That means for every part I, we will remove that element from first and put that beside this array and check that the resultant array is a sorted array or not. Let us take the example. Let us suppose our input array is like this. This is 3, 4, 5, 1 and 2. Let us start a loop from I equals to 0 like this. Make an array of same size like this, and for I equals to 0, we will first reserve our first element in a variable top. Let us name this variable top. Top will contain the value 3, and now we have to shift our all remaining elements from one position. Like we will shift 4 here, 5 here, 1 here, and 2 here. So this will look like 4, 5, 1, 2, and finally we put our top into this. Let us name this as H H array, or like help array, and then the this top is inserted into this help at the last index. Yeah. Now inside of this loop, after this shifting is completed, let us check if this is a sorted array or not. This could be easily checked, and we found out that this is not a sorted array. So I is now incremented. So this I is now points to this 4. Let us erase our, and this help is now 5 and 2. Again this help is created, and this time top will contain a value. This time top is not a single variable. We have to pop out the two the elements on the left side of that I. That means first this and then this, and this 5 and all other elements are shifted like this. 5 comes here, 1 is here, 2 is here, and these 3 and 4 is now shifted to this position. And we have to check if this help is a sorted or not, sorted array or not. No, this is not a sorted array. So again I is incremented, again I is incremented. So I will now point to this 5. 5 I is now pointing here, and now these 3 elements are, these 1 and 2 are shifted to the first and second position, and these 3 are now inserted on the back side of 2 like this. And again check if this is a sorted array or not, and we found out that this is a sorted array. So we will simply return true inside of that for loop if we found out that this is a sorted array. So basically this is our brute force approach, and if we found out that no pair is a sorted array, then after ending this for loop, when I is now pointing to the index outside of the bound of that input array, then outside of this outer for loop we have to return false to our caller. Now this is a simple brute force approach, and this will take a time complexity as big O of n for traversing this, and big O of n for every I to check whether the array is sorted or not. So this will make the time complexity as big O of n square and space complexity as big O of n. We can have a better solution for this problem, in which we can simply check that in the given input array how many points are there in which the order is broken. That means we have to check if the preceding element is smaller from the current element or not, and if this order is broken more than one time, then we can say that the given input array is not a rotated or a sorted array, and if this order is broken only one time, then we can definitely say that this is a sorted array. Let us take the example number 1, in which we have given 3, 4, 5, 1 and 2, and we will start a for loop from this I equals to 1, and this for loop will goes until I is less than n. That means I will go to the last index till the last index. Uh, when I is here, let us take a variable c and d, which is first initialized with 0. When I is here, this will check that if nums of I, this nums of I is greater than or equals to its preceding element. So this is true. Uh, Sorry, I had mistake. I had do a little bit mistake. When I is here, we have to check in our for loop that if nums of I is less than its preceding elements, because we are moving from left to right direction. So we have to check if nums of I is less than its preceding element. We found out that nums of I is not less than its preceding element, so we do not increment our count, and I is now point to this position. We again check that if nums of I, that is 5, is less than 4. No, this condition is also not true, so again I is incremented and goes to this position, and we found out that nums of I this time is less than its preceding element, that is 1 is less than 5. So this is our first breaking point, and now count is incremented to 1. and I is now point to this 2 and check if nums of I is less than to its preceding element. No, this is not correct. So CNT is equals to 1. In this case, we found out that CNT is incremented till 1. That means there is only one breaking point in which this order is broken. If we found out that this order is not broken and every I nums of I is greater than to its preceding element, then this input array is already sorted and we have to return uh, true in that condition. But if the if we found out that only one broken point is there, then we can say that the input array is sorted on that position. That's why this we found out that it is uh, it is one broken point there. So let us code this and check. Let us take input size of array and initialize our cnt variable from 0 to n minus 1, or we can go from 1 to less than n, and we have to check if nums of I is less than nums of I plus 1 is less than nums of I. That means if this is smaller than its previous, that means we have to find out a broken point, a breaking point, or we can do the same by for int I equals to 1, I is less than n, I plus 1. If nums of I is less than nums of I minus 1. If this is the condition, we have to increment our CNT. Now, in this case as well, we have to increment our CNT. Also, after this for loop, we also have to check if nums of n minus 1 is greater than nums of 0. Then we also have to increment our CNT and then return CNT is less than equals to 1 or not. What this condition is for, that this may be possible that array is rotated at this position. That means for let us take a input like 5, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and in this we clearly see that this 5 is rotated and can be moved to this position in one rotation, and the order is then 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, which is a sorted order. And by moving in this for loop, we can miss out our this and this elements comparison, whether these and this element are related to each other or not. So that is why we have to check our this condition, and now if we run this, this will running fine, and now we have to submit our code, and let us check if it is running fine or not. So this will conclude our today's LeetCode challenge. Thank you so much, guys, for viewing this solution. And if this is helpful for you, please do like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.